Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We are here at one of my favorite filming spot locations, but we're also here with a legendary hot hatch. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2026 Volkswagen Golf R. But before we dive in to this higher performing, updated, styled Golf R, let's talk about what's going on here. So we're diving deeper. Like I've mentioned before, whenever I get a press fleet vehicle that is something a little bit extra, something that I know you want to see more of, we're going to give you more. So with this review, we're going to get you behind the wheel because Volkswagen proclaims it. A lot of their owners proclaim that not only is this the ultimate hot hatch, but it's the ultimate performance style vehicle that is the spot on the money daily driver. So without further ado, why don't you hop in with me, and I want to find out and show you what is it like to live with, day in and day out, a 2026 Volkswagen Golf R. All right, guys, we're behind the wheel of this Golf R. This is basically what's going to greet you when you come in. Here is your R-specific key fob. It's got a nice feel to it. You have your buttons on the back. Really nice finish. This key fob is definitely a lot nicer than the key fob that you get from Toyota with the GR Corolla. But I'll put that down in the cup holder, and we're going to fire up this Golf R. Your start-stop button is right at the top of the switch gear for your center console. So obviously step on the brake, hit the start stop button, and the engine roars to life. Now let's talk about the layout of this interior. You get a 10.25-inch digital gauge cluster. You do have on the left-hand side of the steering wheel controls for your lights and also for your defrosters, front and rear. Lock and unlock is up top at the door panel by the door handle. And then all your other switchgear, your power windows and power mirrors are also right on that armrest level of your door panel. Steering wheel, love the wheel. You have all of your adjustments you can make, whether you want to do your adaptive cruise, adjust the volume of the audio, change your view, and the heated steering wheel button. The heated steering wheel button I wish was not here because it's very easy to accidentally tap. You do have your massive paddles. They are larger than before, larger than the GTI, located behind. This is a manual tilting and telescoping wheel. And then to change things on the instrument cluster, like your view, you're just going to hit view, and that's actually going to adjust the layout of the gauges. You get a little tap sound every time you tap the button. I tend to like to have the tachometer top dead center right in there with all the other information. You could also change what is displayed in the different screens, so that's nice as well. Real easy to do. And then, of course, if you want to close it, so there we go. So if I want to come back over here, I could do boost, start, stop, torque distribution, performance gauges, your operating temps. I tend to like to look at that boost gauge as we're driving. On the right-hand side, you can make those adjustments as well. I have the G meter. Windshield wiper stock is on the right. Turn signal stock is on the left side of the steering wheel. Now, when we look at this 12.9-inch infotainment system, the bad news is there's no real buttons. There's a couple tap places where you could touch and it does something. Like, for example, if I want to get to the climate control, I could tap here. That brings up our climate. I then can make full adjustments to the climate control, the recirculation, all that. If I want to go into modes, I tap the mode portion, and then I can make my adjustments in there. I'm going to go into race mode. just for the heck of it. You have drift mode, many different modes in this new Golf R. To get to the main menu, it's real simple. There it is. So you're just tapping down below. There's 4 options, plus your hazards are located in that little rectangle area. Now up top, you can adjust the temperature by tapping on those temperature sections. You could also adjust your volume by tapping as well, but there's no actual volume knob. This blue square is basically your home screen. That takes you right to home. If you want ventilated seats, you tap them. If you want your heated seats, you tap it. So nice to have that layout. It's just, I wish there were some physical buttons. Now, the other good bit of news is that they did pull out certain icons. Like, for example, that pesky auto start stop feature, you could immediately shut it off as soon as you get the car fired up right up top here. You have all your other things that are easily identifiable, your navigation, your audio, and then here's all the different features from your ambient lighting to just about anything you want to be able to adjust. Your climate control, all that stuff can be done right here. And then that brings us right back to home. But like I said, the big zonk is that there's no actual knobs or physical buttons. Down below, you do have 2 USB-Cs. You have wireless charging. Then in the center here at the top, like I said, it's silver. That's going to fire up the 2-liter turbocharged inline 4. You have your little nub for your shifter. No manual transmission available. The cup holders, your 12 volt. Everything is well laid out in here. And then up top is where you're going to swipe your finger to open up your sunroof, turn on your vanity lights, your interior lights. It's all tap, depending on what you want to have on. But hey, we're at that point. We get to drive now. So I have it in sport mode, and we're going to go for a little spin. So to put it obviously in the reverse, you take the nub, push it up. There's your backup camera. Nice clear resolution. Got the sensing technology. Now what's interesting is if you pull back the shifter, there's drive, there's regular drive, but then there's also sport shift. So that's another option as well if you want to have a little bit more of a purposeful shift and you're on the proper roads. Well, let's go on throttle from a dead stop. You ready? On throttle, here we go. Like the way the tachometer changes color as it gets closer to that RPM red line. You do have adaptive suspension, changes depending what mode you're in. And you do have a head-up display as well. Visibility is great out the windshield. They really pull the A-pillars far apart. And you are getting all of the Volkswagen safety technology. Now to put it into manual shift mode, it's real easy. You just pull back on one of the paddles and that's gonna allow you to now shift manually. I'll slow down to a roll here. You ready? On throttle, here we go. Now some of that sound you're hearing is real. Some of the sound is being pumped in through your Harman Kardon speaker system. They actually do a pretty good job of making it feel totally real. But it would be nice if a little bit more sound came out of that good looking exhaust out back. But getting to the 12.9-inch infotainment system is well within reach. And like I said, once you have a clue of where everything is laid out in here, you could be a little bit more mindful to not accidentally hit the steering wheel heater button like I have accidentally hit from time to time behind the wheel of this Golf R. But if you're looking for a fun, sporty daily driver, this car is so easy to live with. It's so versatile, and it will put a smile on your face no matter where you're going. Compared to other cars in its class, like the Acura Integra Type S, the Honda Civic Type R, the Toyota Corolla GR, it has better finishes, better materials. The seats are comfy. 8-way adjustable seat for the passenger. Excuse me, for the driver. For the passenger, there's a little bit of electric of adjustment, but the rest of it is all manual. Just something to be aware of. But it's nice and easy to see the digital gauge cluster. And of course, you have that all-wheel drive that's going to keep you planted to the asphalt. It's front-wheel drive biased, and then it sends power to the rear wheels. Really, the only other competitor to this car that's all-wheel drive is the GR Corolla. Because Civic Type R, Acura Integra Type S, heck, even the Elantra N are all front-wheel drive. I do like the way you have a nice large gear indicator in the center of the tachometer there. You can see as I'm shifting down through the gears. Keeps the chassis nice and stable. And this dual clutch transmission is very, 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 very fast shifting. Whether you're going down the gears or up the gears. Seats have the perfect amount of bolstering to hold you in through the twisties, but also comfy enough that, hey, if you're sitting in traffic and you're doing your daily commute, you're still gonna feel good. I'll go ahead and put it into sport shift, where it's automatically gonna shift, just to show you how seamless it is. It blips the throttle, which is really nice. You get a good sound. Then of course you have some really good brakes in this vehicle. Pulling out into traffic, plenty of power. I find that with the way this car is tuned, you're not having to really wait for the revs to get up to 4,000 RPM. It does build in the torque very smoothly, even at the lower RPM. And with the limited slip diffs, it really transfers the power to the ground very efficiently. But like I said, just doing your daily driving commute, it feels really good. You do have a speed limit sign, well, I should just say a sign alert system to let you know what the speed limit is. It puts it in your head-up display, which is nice as well. And each of the modes is very, very unique to itself, which is important because you don't want the modes to all feel the same. And in this car, they definitely do not all feel the same. Just sad they got rid of the manual. I'm still sad. And it was a good manual. The clutch wasn't heavy. It was a good daily driver of a manual. As you can see, just very easy to control. Good feedback through the wheel. And then the park, it's a good size. Just a perfect size. I mean, look at that. Right in the park. Engine off. Tells you goodbye. So hopefully this deeper dive was beneficial for you, especially if you're seriously thinking about buying one of these. We're going to get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, always a good day to get behind the wheel of something like this Volkswagen Golf R. Now it's your turn to let me know what you think. Do you feel, based off of what you experience with me, that this really is that perfect daily driver of a performance compact car? Let me know your thoughts in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Razor Reds family. Got to give up the Latte Lori. You know, she's always wanting to cover more and more cars just for you, and she's actually lining us up with some big hits. So stay tuned for that. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.